Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allows you to record and edit your broadcast so it sounds great. And they even distribute your broadcast for you so that it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to FET News. I am Damian Anderson, and here are your news for this week. Join us every Thursday on our podcast for Frett's Education Thoughts, where your host, Andrew Frett, will discuss his very own opinion about the topics of our previous episode of Future Educators Talk. So join us every Thursday. Join me, Damian Anderson, from my home, vivid Instagram and Twitter Live for Future Educators Talk Home Edition at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, 7:15 a.m. Central. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Education Thoughts Podcast, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And follow and subscribe to my new podcast called Education Thoughts with Damian Anderson, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Brand new episodes of Future Educators Talk drops every Wednesday, so follow and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Make sure you follow Future Educators Talk on social media. Facebook.com/Future Educators Talk and like our page. On Instagram at Future Educators Talk and on Twitter at Future ED Talk. So follow Future Educators Talk on social media. And follow your hosts, Damian Anderson and Andrew Frett, on social media. You can follow me, Damian Anderson, on Instagram at Damian Anderson and on Twitter at _Damian Anderson. And you can follow Andrew Frett on Instagram at It's Andrew Frett and on Twitter at Darren_Frett. So follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Future Educators Talk, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of our videoing episodes. You can also listen to past episodes of our show on YouTube and on all the podcast platforms that we are located on. Have a wonderful day and listen to today's episode of Future Educators Talk, which is starting right now. All right, here we go. So, welcome everyone to Future Educators Talk. I am your host, Damian Anderson.
And I am Darren Frett.
And this is our very first ever video of Future Educators Talk. So we are trying something new here because I've been seeing like everywhere, all podcasts are doing this. They have a video and also doing audio. So I was thinking, why not should we do it as well? So here we are, our very first video. So hopefully this will work out. So before we get started on today's episode, how are you doing, Andrew? How are you doing?
I am doing okay. Just need to get some coffee in my system before I head to work this morning. But other than that, I am okay. Mental wise, I am. So like I am over the place. I think that is better. Yes, that is better. So it's not better. So hopefully one day I will take a personal day very soon off my job. So
yes. Because you are working during this pandemic. So how is that working out for you?
Um, Stressful, very stressful. Um, a lot of new. We have to keep up to date of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, we have to wear a mask now. Um, like during our entire shift. So that is one thing that is new. Um, like I said earlier, we still have to sanitize everything. We still have
Mm-hmm.
to clean everything. So pretty much the same old, same old.
All right. All right. And y'all can see here that I am wearing a bandana. That's what you call it. I've been wearing this since being stuck at home because my hair is a mess and I do not want y'all to see what's under here. So this is my new look for now, until I give me a haircut. So yeah.
Right. And, before my hair was a mess, a total mess, like MESS, like a tornado came through and hits my hair. But luckily, I know somebody that will cut my hair. So I did that. Oh, I think I did it last week. Yes, did it last week. No, I did not go to no barbershop, to make that clear. I did not go to a barbershop.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a mess. It was about to be like an afro, and I can't. No,
Yeah.
it needs to be cut. So
Yeah. Okay then. So let's get started with today's episode. The topic for today is ways to maintain relationships during this school closure, because we all know that schools are closed, colleges are closed, and everyone, including your students, they're stuck at home. So how can you maintain a relationship with them while we're stuck at home? And we are going to be giving out some tips, some ways that educators can still maintain a relationship with their students, even if we're stuck at home. You do not have to be, in a classroom. So there's plenty of ways that you can do this. And for one tip that came to my mind is try to say hello frequently to them if you can, by try to make sure your kids know that you are thinking of them. I mean, that is the top priority of, their teacher right now, that they are thinking about their students.
right.
Because this is, like I mentioned, I believe on here or across the state, that this is all new to us. I mean, we have never been a position like this before, and all teachers now have to do their work remotely, and it's just mind-blowing. They don't know. Of course, they're not students and teachers, they're not going back to school this school year, but what about next school year? What is that going to be? Are we still going to be doing this into the next school year? So that is your top priority, is to think about your students at all times. I know that is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. You see many teachers, especially on social media, where teachers use Zoom
Yes.
To see how their students are doing during this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to understand, though, not every student going to have the same, I would say, the same technology,
Yeah.
or have the same Wi-Fi or anything.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind of that as well. Plus, I don't know I think some teachers, they do a drive-by
Yes.
through the students' neighborhoods.
Yes.
I think that is a excellent idea, because they still thinking about them.
Yes.
Another one is, I think I saw on Twitter. I'm not sure which social media it was, either Facebook or Twitter, where a teacher showed up at a student's drive-through birthday party. Again, that's just one of the ways that teachers still care about their students.
Right. I mean, absolutely. They are doing so much. They're trying to find ways of connection with their students, because that is the top priority right now. I mean, trying to find a way. And I love that teachers, they're driving through their students' neighborhood to check on them. I mean, that is just really wonderful. And let's keep that going. Because it's just a wonderful thing of how we have technology, and there's a way that we can connect with one another. So that is good right there. Another tip is how to maintain your morning meetings, because that is a big thing. They are routines that foster connection. They are the core part of a classroom life. And finding ways for students to experience these at home will go a long way toward your students' success and their transition of doing home-based learning.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what one person says: if you do morning meeting, reflect on the elements you have in your meeting and what could be completed virtually at home. If technology allows, record and share daily video announcements and read alouds. So everyone's routine is different. They're trying to find ways of how to keep up with their students in the mornings, because it is so different. And I just think morning meetings, it should be there also, another top priority as well. So another tip. Now this is good right here. Try snail mail, pen pals, phone pals, or virtually turn and talk. Now, we learn better in social contexts. For many students, they are transitioning to learning from home than when they was in the classroom.
Right.
It's kind of a little complicated by their impact of being cut off from their peers. Because in the classroom, if one student is talking, raise your hand, then another student will quite like butt into that and cut off that student. Then on here, what we're doing here virtually, I don't think that's the case of a student getting cut off. So I think this is great right here. And talk also with the students. Check up on your classmates as well after you have finished being in class with your teacher. Also talk with your classmates. Check on them to see how are they doing. How are they doing during this pandemic? Because we're all, and I said this a lot when I do FET Home Edition, we are all in this together. It is not just one part of the country or city that is dealing with this pandemic.
No,
we
sir.
are all, as a whole, we are dealing with this. So check up on one another, because that is very good during this time that we are in.
Yes, check up on them. Okay. I know some of you got Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If y'all can use those social medias, then y'all should know how to check up on your classmates. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
It only takes about a minute to check up on your. Just start like a mini conversation. That's all you got to do. Just start a mini conversation.
Yeah.
And then after that, boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, a very, very long conversation. Just take a time to call one of your classmates and just check on them. That's all. Just to see how they are doing.
Just right. Just one simple task. That's it.
Another tip is to, and I found this also, is to create a virtual tables. But don't just group friends together now. Here's what Casey Short says. For other kids, teachers can set up virtual table groups, and they can do it somehow through Zoom. Short uses Google Classroom for this because her students are already familiar with the platform. She says that I will set up discussion threads with 4 to 5 students so they can discuss, assignments together.
Right.
And ask questions. It's just like, being in a classroom, when you group up your students together, you could group them together on here and let them have that discussion, the conversation about assignments, to see if everyone's on page on together, which is a great thing. Another one, and this is a very good one right here, is to, while this is all happening, why don't you consider including the parents in this? Now, one person says that she asked students to invite a parent online, giving them the opportunity to ask questions, maybe ask concerns, express their concerns, or request some advice. Because teachers, they need to see how they're doing at home. How are parents doing with this all happening? Because now you have the parents that they are bumping up, they're homeschooling their children right now. And we just need to check up on our parents as well. I think it's all right when students attend their classes on here online, is to include their parents to see if they have any questions or concerns or anything that they can do to help their students at home to do better on their assignments. I just think that's one great one.
I do want to say on that tip right there.
Okay.
there are some kind of like the same thing with the students. There are some parents that don't feel comfortable, being on
Yeah.
videoing and all that stuff. Uh, I think, yes, it's a great tip, but however, I feel like there are some parents that are out there that don't feel comfortable of, being in this situation. Same thing with the students as well. Maybe they are shy or, again, being in the classroom, being shy. Maybe they don't like being, doing this. So we have to find alternative ways for people that are shy or for people that doesn't like doing this.
Yeah. I understand. I really understand that. Now you gave me a clear understanding of that. So my last tip that I have to give out is, and this is probably a number one. This is probably the second top priority, is to get your students, your child, to name and process their own emotions. Now, one teacher, she says that writing assignments offer valuable opportunities for students to process the complex mix of emotions they may be experiencing as a result of their impending routine and schedules, social isolations, and the challenges of being cooped up at home. She also says that I am going to use some writing opportunities for students to get their thoughts, feelings, fear, and questions down in a creative format of their choice. She says I will give them an option to share with the class their feelings if they want to.
Yes, an option.
Yes. Or share with their teacher if they don't feel like, sharing it with their classmates, which is totally fine. This will not only allow them to share out their feelings, but also give them a place to check on and to follow up. So I think this is great. This is absolutely great, of asking your students either to write down, on a piece of paper, write down your emotions. How are you feeling during during this pandemic? Because I know it can be stressful. So I like that, of writing down your feelings, your fears. How are you doing? And then share it out. If you want to share it out with your classmates, or to just the teacher privately, which is fine, totally understandable. What do you think of this, Andrew?
I think it's a great tip. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just think of it as again, back to your other tips, kind of like a writing assignment. That could be a good writing assignment right there. Actually, which gets me to thinking, probably later on today or tomorrow, that I will probably write down my thoughts and my feelings about this pandemic that is going on. So I absolutely agree. I agree with this tip. So
yeah. And all of these tips that I have provided, these are some great tips, you guys, of how you guys can stay in that relationships with your students, because that is the top priority right now, of how you can maintain a relationships with your students. And it could also be outside the classroom, you guys. I mean, it can. I did an episode of this last season of how the teachers can build relationships with their students in the classroom. And also those tips that I gave out, it's just not only, it don't have to be in the classroom. It can be, virtually. So I encourage you guys to check out that episode because that is it. I gave out lots of tips of that relationship with your students. So we just did a little recap of this, of how you guys can maintain that relationship virtually with your students as we are doing right here. So those are the tips I have. Do you have any tips that you would like to add?
No, but I do want to say one thing though that really caught my attention when you said check them on your classmates. I did see a TikTok video or a story or something where boyfriend or best friend or whoever has moved in with the other best friend or significant other because of that mental state, that stability. And I think that is a great idea because you used to hang out with this person every single day, and now because of this pandemic where you can't see that person every single day, or you can't FaceTime them every single day. And I think it's a great idea to move in with him because you get to see them again. You get to spend more time with them versus stuck at home and not having a great time, not having a great laugh, not, watching a movie, etc., without them. And of course, you're going to have them on your mind every single day.
Yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely. So I guess this is the end of this episode right here. I hope these tips to you educators out there that we have provided, I hope those can help out better for you with your students as y'all trying to wrap up the end of the school year virtually instead of being in the classroom. So I hope these tips can help out very well. So yeah, this is it. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us for this episode. Our first video, actually, should say that. So we are doing this from here on out, you guys. There still will be an audio version for you guys that likes to listen onto the podcast platforms. So we will still have the audio version of this episode available to you guys on the exact same day on Wednesday. We are not changing dates. This video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel on the exact same day on Wednesday. So y'all have two options to choose from, or you could do both. So this is it. Thank you guys so much for listening. And also, if you guys want to ask us any questions, concerns, any feedback for us to make our podcast better, y'all can send in questions to us through the voice message on Anchor by going to anchor.fm/future edtalk/message, to where you guys can record your questions, your feedbacks, whatever, to us. And we will greatly appreciate that so much. So, before we wrap up, anything else you want to share?
So for this topic, I'll be talking about this next week, actually, because I have a brand new episode of Frett's Education Thoughts that will come out on Thursday.
Yes.
So, which I will be talking about something different. So this episode I'll be talking about will come out next Thursday. Kind of behind schedule. I'm not really behind schedule. Everything is fitting into place. So
yeah,
I gotta get everything, trying to get many episodes in as possible before the season finale. So
yes. So, I forgot to mention, I have a new podcast, you guys. I have transferred my YouTube show into a podcast called Education Thoughts with Damian Anderson. It is still the same format as it was on my YouTube channel. It is just now turned into a podcast. My very first episode of that will premiere on Friday, May the 1st. So you guys tune in for that. Subscribe, follow me anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast ads. And you can listen to 7 full episodes of my YouTube show that's been turned to a podcast right now, wherever you find your podcast at. So I forgot to mention that at the very beginning. So I have a new podcast, you guys.
yes.
So without further ado, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am your host, Damian Anderson.
And I am Andrew Frett.
And this is Future Educators Talk. Remember, you guys, to stay safe out there, wherever you are, and to wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yes.
Please, wash your hands.
All right. We see y'all on next week for a new episode of Future Educators Talk. Take care. Don't just listen to Future Educators Talk on your smartphone. Continue the conversation online. Like us on Facebook. Be a part of the conversation by telling us what you think. Join us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content. And follow along on Twitter to stay up to date with what's happening on our podcast and beyond. It's you who keeps Future Educators Talk going. So like, comment, share, and connect everywhere with us. You get social. Let's listen.